Join the crew as a member of the Onyx Key for exclusive members-only messages, redirections, and content. We already have a bunch of videos live with some familiar topics as well as new questions, so I'll see you on the other side of the Onyx Key. Make sure you hit the join button to go deeper down this experience with me. Hey family, so we're back with another pick a card tarot love reading, and we have an interesting topic. We've done it before, but there's a new spin, so I'm gonna see if this is gonna be one of our series just to see how you guys feel about it and if it makes sense, right? So we're gonna look at what you're secretly attracted to and desire in love, right? So we've got the whole exposing of your true feelings and what you actually like, so it could help you guys navigate your love lives in a more effective way, especially as we all know, real time, we're in a very karmic time. I know everybody loves buzzwords, but there are transits that signify major transitions and changes collectively, not just you individually, like the universe, right? So originally, and I'll connect the two so you can see, the first version of this was who you're actually attracted to and compatible with in love. And I don't know what was going on because I just looked at that not that long ago, and I feel like that video was super long, like I used to do back in the day. I'm not doing that. So I will condense the message if it comes through that heavy, because I'm not doing that. Hey family, we're back to the intro. It may be odd timing, especially for those of y'all on the public side that are not used to this happening, but it's a whole nother day, okay? I'm way in the future. I'm gonna make sure this is sectioned before y'all can choose your piles. We'll go back to the past so you can do that, because I did all kinds of unintentional lying in the in the first take of this yesterday, because I was like, I don't have time, I got other things I'm working on, and I am not making these long. Well, come to find out, the first three piles are in fact long. I don't know what's to come for pile 4 because I'm about to film it now since I did run out of time, but I do want to take my time with these. So usually when I do the unintentional lying, for those of you that are new, it's because I have stuff to do, but at the same time, when it seems like I lack like boundaries with the channel, it's because I feel like if I'm gonna do these, I may as well do them right or not at all. So if the piles genuinely just won't make sense unless they're long, then I would rather just not do the reading, delete the whole reading, than shorten it. Okay, so that's why you may see readings that are like super long and readings that are not, even if it doesn't seem like it was necessary. It was necessary for me to cut through the collective energy, okay? So that's why they're long. I'm not gonna force them. And a lot of things came out in those piles, along with me having like other things in the background that I was tending to. So I don't want to make any formal announcements right now because I'm genuinely not ready, but I'm being rushed by my spirit team because I have a lot of things that I'm working on to share with all of you. So when this goes live, at least for the public, there's going to be a link in the description box. There should be a pinned post, and at a minimum you'll be able to click through so that you can sign up for more to come, right? When our site goes live with other stuff, okay? The reason why I mention that is because in me needing to stop doing this reading for this video, I ended up picking up some other things, and I had a package show up today, and I kind of have a foundation finalized for some of the things that you will see via the link that should be in the description box at this point, and that should be in the pinned post. But stay tuned for formal announcements. Sign up so that anything that comes through, you're fully prepared and all of the things like that. But and I'm so sorry to be so vague about it, but I'm not ready. I'll maybe be ready in another week or so, but I'm definitely being encouraged to make sure that by the time this goes public, there's at least a link for you guys to click through. So even more time that I do not have, here we are, here we go. So y'all stay tuned. And I know for a fact, okay, I'm being vague with my words, but based off of the things that I'm working on, I know for a fact that the reason why I'm being pushed, the reason why I'm being rushed and literally physically redirected to shift this out now is because of all the things that came through y'all's reading. Like I mentioned, we're in a really karmic time. I have a video up about it, and I guess I'm more important than I think I am because the things that I'm working on should be some support. I guess in terms of like helping you guys ground and like mentally work through some of the things that came in your past, because there were a lot of shadows, but it wasn't shadows that you should be alarmed or afraid of. It was more, oh, if I knock this out, if I work on this part of myself, if I shift my perspective, we rolling, right? Like love is easy to find. You minimize how many karmic attachments you have. Life just flows harmoniously beyond love and romance. And I definitely want that for y'all. So if I could be of any assistance, any help, why not, right? So I'm going to shift back to the past for you, and I will move forward in the future to where I'm at. So let me just hold the thumbnail up so you can go ahead and choose your cupcakes. It's kind of like a cupcake festive vibe with birthdays and stuff like that. So if you want to feel like it's your birthday, you can, or if it is your birthday, happy birthday, all of the things, because that just, it aligned with what we were doing. All right, so pile number 1 is the Orange Sparks Cupcake. Pile number 2 is the Gourmet Raspberry Buttercream Cupcake. It's got a pink candle, and that's the dominant color. Pile number 3 is the Festive Almond Buttercream Chocolate Cupcake, and it's got a spark instead of a traditional candle. And then pile number 4 is a Gourmet Chocolate Fall Cupcake, and it's got a golden candle. I'll give you a moment to make your selection. And if you need more time, go ahead and pause the video. All right, pile number 1, we've got this Orange Sparks Cupcake. So we do want to see what you're secretly attracted to and desire in love. And I'm going to expose y'all's true feelings, what you know, what you don't, all the things. And I already got this pile caught a little bit because so all of the cupcakes completely unrelated, just random stock images, right? For this pot, for these groups. Yours is in fact like a birthday cupcake. But pile 4 is completely like different. It's not the same type of vibe at all. And I haven't filmed it, so whatever, but if you were called to both, it's because you may have 2 different types that you are equally compatible with, or you have a type that you think you're compatible with and you're actually compatible with another. So don't you be the pile that launches the super long readings. We're not doing that today. I don't have time. I got a lot of stuff that you guys are going to be excited about to work on. But I'm telling you, some of you are in that chaos, right? Of figuring out what it is you want, or being very eclectic in your taste. Either way, we're going to figure it out. I'm going to pull some cards, but the reason why that caught my attention is because for whatever reason, I'm like, what's that I forgot to crop out at the bottom? Those sprinkles. You can barely see them on the cupcake you chose, but they are on the cupcake you chose, and they're like on the flat surface that I pulled it from. Same orange sprinkles from pile 4. And that I'm literally realizing real time. So that's crazy. The alignment, the synchronicity, that's going to be a symbol for something. So remember me catching that real time as I develop your pile, or if you go to the other one, just keep that in mind. So I'm going to pull an overview so we can see what's going on. My orange cupcake. But like I was leading with before I realized that, sacral energy. So there's a heavy creative, loving, very watery vibe here, because those are all things associated with the sacral chakra. With the overall sacral chakra theme of this pile, or just the color orange, like you'll know where you fall here, because if you have an affinity for orange and that's like your like your favorite color, or you just love that color a lot, that means you're really deeply connected in a healthy way to your sacral, right? Like if you have an aversion for it, which I don't know why you would pick this pile. Some of you may just have synchronicities that call you to this pile if you're not fond of that color. People that are more in tune with their sacral may be more compatible with you, and this may be calling you to it for that reason. Okay, so let me see. Okay, but especially those of you where you're very connected and balanced in your sacral energy, you're compatible with somebody that matches that with you. Like that's one of the compatibility identifiers. Okay, so really creative, very in tune with yourself, very comfortable with your sexuality, sexual expression, all of the things. So give me an overview for my pile 1. I told y'all. See, look at, I told y'all. Y'all were caught before I started your pile. Because why I got 2 cards here when I wanted one? You see what I'm saying? Luck is on your side. Sagittarius is a very expansive energy, right? It's ruled by Jupiter. So think making everything louder, think making everything bigger. When we talk about being really creative, when we talk about being fun, when we talk about energy that may be very obvious, right, to you and other people, right? So let me see what these 2 types are. I got the blue moon, all right, rare opportunity, new moon in Pisces, meditate and contemplate. These 2 signs rule like spirituality, okay? They rule like the mind and knowledge and just being very not smart as in intelligence and book smart, but like wisdom, intuition, right? The knowledge that can't be taught. It's more instinctual, right? It's more trusting your instincts and your intuition. Like that's what's compatible with you. And it feels like a lot of you, and this is for everybody's second pile, a lot of you don't necessarily think you're going to catch a partner. Now, I know I'm using the word catch. A lot of you don't think you're going to catch up to a partner that aligns with this rare energy, whether it is being connected to source in a spiritual esoteric way, whether it is just being wise beyond your years and just energy and just having knowledge that is either gained through experience or just a simple knowing, right? Like that's the only way I can describe this in combination like that. So a lot of you here, and it hit me immediately, you are going to end up with a partner that is drastically different from your traditional type. I don't mean in terms of appearance. This is internal energy. There's a partner that you don't necessarily think, I don't know if you're conscious of it, but you have a certain way of being. You've been conditioned a certain way throughout your life. All of us have. But like the way you think, the way you move, you don't seem to realize or simply don't think you're capable of ending up the type of partner that you're going to end up with. In a good way, as in you're going to feel very lucky when it happens. To you, it just seems like it would feel very rare to find a partner that has the level of compatibility that you're going to actually end up with. Now, I wasn't looking for that, but I'm exposing your feelings. I'm trying to tell you what you're secretly attracted to, but we've already got a confirmation that you're going to get it, and you may not even realize that that's what you want until you experience it, because it's like a blue moon rare instance of that. Like you may have never met people like that before, encountered people like that before. I hope that makes sense. Okay? Because this person's going to light up your sacral chakra, right? You're going to be very sensually attracted to them, but it's more than that. It's deeper than that. It's more elevated than that, than you would have expected from anybody, right? And that's going to be what get you, and how you end up with whoever hit the table just now. So tell me more about what they're actually attracted to, okay? So since we've got the 2 sides where, and this makes sense with what I channeled, right? Some of you are compatible with, you're very eclectic in a way that you could be attracted to many variations of people. It's all about alignment. When we talk about Sagittarius, Pisces, like spirituality, right? Energetic connection. It's just a matter of timing and alignment. There are others of you where maybe you're a little underdeveloped. That's not an insult. We're all underdeveloped in some ways. But if that's you, that would make you shadow in terms of development. So you think you have this type, and maybe it is your type. But there's a type that actually is a little more compatible with you. You just haven't evolved enough to catch it or to realize or experience, right? So that's why you're all stumbling in here, because it's just a different perspective of the same experience. And that's why there are two. So, and hold on, let me pull this over here because I got to check on something behind me really quick. What is this? Okay, boom, I can see what's going on behind me. Sorry, I got two computers. I got y'all filming. We got a lot going on right now. Okay, so tell me more about these Orange Sparks cupcakes. All right, and see, I even called it plural. Interesting. Tell me more about my pile one. What is secret attracted to? I like it because it supports where we are. Look at those planets I mentioned in the intro, like a lot of universal shifts, right? Those are two outer planets, Pluto and Neptune, and it enhances what we're talking about in that meeting. There's a very specific type that you have not identified yet. And I don't want to say that you're not compatible with the type that you think is yours. I'm not. Okay? And remember, I'm reading past, present, incoming. I could be talking about a current experience. I could be like, some of y'all are leaning in like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Explain to me what's happening. I thought I liked this, and blah, blah, blah. Well, you're growing, you're evolving, you're maturing. You're coming into contact with different types of people from different cultures and things like that. A lot of you, whether it's because you're in school, whether it's because you've traveled more, whether it's just because you've discovered hobbies and things and niche interests that you're meeting people in, and that's normal, that's healthy, right? So that's really what this is all about, is that transition of your type or the evolution of it. Oh, this is my even the most immature side of this pile is really elevated, right? I feel like the immature shadow side is more, it's developmental. Like we all, like you don't wake up mature, right? It takes time, it takes years, energy. Yeah, I got the house 3, early learning. We talk about that conditioning, the way you were raised, the way your mind works. That's what that house rules. It also rules like the local vicinity. So I find that you're not attracted, you don't like to have to do the long distance thing. I'm gonna let you know now. I know Sagittarius is expansion, but combined with Pluto and Pisces, it's depth. It's not expansion like I want to have to go far and wide to find my true love, okay? It's the elevation of the mind, the rareness of the energy, but you need a partner that's going to be very accessible to you, okay? You need a partner regardless of all of this. Oh, that's why I feel so rare, because despite the broadening of the perspective and how it looks like you're compatible with the partner that's going to teach you and open your mind a little more, there still has to be some form of familiarity in terms of upbringing and how you think, which makes sense, right? Can't be completely from scratch and opposite. But that's kind of where we are. And a lot of you here, this is my pile of you're not realizing you're gonna find someone that is into like spirituality and things like that, like the metaphysical and the esoteric. Because I skipped over the tarot deck. I did. And I moved right on to the other astrology deck. That's the only 2 decks we have on the table right now. Very interested in like tarot, astrology, things like that. And if you're here, especially if you're a regular in this niche, right? You're actually really compatible with somebody. Like, you're going to be shocked that like the partner you end up with is going to be a little more interested in that than you think. They might be heavily into it actually for a lot of you. I see that. So it's going to be a lot of mental stimulation because that's what you are compatible with. I hope you don't set the tone and every pile has like a specific person they're going to end up with, because I want to help y'all navigate y'all's love lives. So I'll be honest with you before I even pull the tarot. I don't want to like upset this group. But in me looking to tell you what you're attracted to and how to navigate the way you interact with people you're dating. I don't think you're supposed to be like dating outside like that. I'm not saying stay in the house. I'm not saying you can't have like boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm not saying you shouldn't date at all, but I don't think you're meant to like have a lot of relationship experiences. So if that resonates, then this, I'm telling you now, because there's a path of like at least one, maybe two people that makes sense, that you're like, you may have like max 3 people you deal with romantically for real in your life, because your power is very aggressive in pushing me to, okay, boom, you're going to end up with somebody you didn't expect. And that's going to really reveal what you're attracted to. Okay. So power 1. But you're attracted to people that, along with the spiritual energetic attachment, there's a mentally stimulated attachment. House 3 actually is ruled by the sign of Gemini. Some of you are going to end up with someone that's very Gemini Sagittarius like. I'm leaning more with Gemini because you have it 2 times, but like, I'm not saying this person's going to have those placements. I'm saying this person's going to be really good at communicating. That may be what really catches your attention. This person's going to be really rational, logical, very good at maneuvering their immediate surroundings, right? When we talk about people that can jump from place to place, this person's very good at navigating immediate environments. When we talk about like just small circles, small areas, things like that, like that's what you're attracted to, people that are a little more sentimental while very, very logical. Okay. That's something that just hit my table. So mutable placements, welcome. Actually, look at you. I'm glad that card came out. I wouldn't have caught it, even though it's in my face and obvious, like your type. Pisces is a mutable sign. Sagittarius is a mutable sign, as is Gemini. Now we have the other one that hit the table of Virgo, because now we have all 4. So very fluid, very flexible, very adaptive. And that's also a symbol for your type is shifting and evolving as you come closer to contact with, I guess, this one person that's hit the table. So let me pull these tarot cards, since we skipped all over them. Tell me about this orange sparks cupcake. Actually, I wasn't using that as a symbol when I put these cupcakes on here, but it does seem like this is a pile where it's going to be, there's certain instance of sparks, right, versus a flame. Yeah, you've got the miser. You need stability. You crave stability. It's not going to work if you don't have stability. Security. You need the monogamous thing. I told you. The energy told on y'all. Okay, already. Whether you want to or not, whether you realize it or not, if you lean into it instead of resisting that, you're meant to be a more restricted with your sensual energy. See, I'm telling you, y'all's own personal energy is always going to tell on y'all. Sacral chakra, right? If you're hyperactive with your sensual energy, guess what? Of course you love the color orange. That's the chakra that rules all that. It absolutely does. You don't have to listen to me. So lean in a little more, because it's telling those of you that are like that, very active, chasing love, chasing sensual experiences. That's not really your desire. I'm exposing your true feelings if you don't really want that. So start being more stingy, more restrictive with your energy. Okay? Like that's not going to benefit you. Okay? Energetically, it's not going to benefit you in terms of finding what it is you want either. Okay? But it will drain you. I have readings that are more in alignment with that, but it will drain you because you got a lot of cards that represent spirituality and ascension. Be restricted with your energy, because it's not good for you and your sacral chakra, quite literally, to be that way. I'm not saying everybody, because it's people that I'm going to say, go out and get yours. I'm saying you, Power One, this orange cupcake, shut it down if that's you. And then obviously, if it's not you, if you've already naturally like that, the reason why, and why you're falling into the pile of people being told to like be more mature about their intuition and receptive to what you're actually feeling. You're restricted with your energy. You're not easily attracted to people, or you find it hard to stumble across people that hold your interest like that, because of that right there, what I talked about, all of that compatibility. So, and just so we're on the same page, you know, that is a mirror, right? So there's a side of you that you know, you're very outside like that, but you prefer a partner. You're conscious of the fact that you prefer a partner like that, but that's going to turn a partner like that off. There are those of y'all that are not like that, and it's because you know you want a partner that mirrors yourself. So that's what I meant by like the lighter versus the shadow, which is more of a, okay, I'm learning, I'm maturing situation. There's no like bad vibes in this pile. None of you have bad vibes. I don't want you to feel that way. There's actually no negativity in this pile at all. If anything, you're just being told to like manage your energy a little more effectively. I like y'all. I've got the mind of the Knight of, actually the Page of Swords, right? You are attracted to people, okay? And remember, there are a lot of you here where this is heavy encouragement for you, but there are a lot of you here that are attracted to people that are very restricted with their energy until they find mental stimulation. Like if like this person's, like your ideal partner is someone that needs to be intrigued mentally before they even engage. I'm not even talking about sensual energy. Like if you're not mentally stimulating and they find you boring, they're not really going to deal with you. It's going to be surface level, hi, how's the weather, and that's it. They're not going to engage you. They're not going to be friends with you because there's nothing really going on beyond, hi, how's the weather. Okay? So just keep that in mind. And I have a compromise. See? That compromise feels like matching of the mind. Also, I like the evolution from the miser to the mentally stimulated to the releasing of the barrier. It's someone that takes a while for the walls to come down because they're very stingy with their time and energy until they meet the mental stimulation that allows them to be a little more giving, a little more receptive. Because Six of Pentacles is when we give gifts and things like that, right? So the Four of Wands talks about long-term stability. It talks about a new home. It talks about a family. It talks about dating with serious intent. I'm telling you, you're secretly at a minimum most compatible with relationship-minded people that take connecting in that way very seriously, whether you do or not. And the only reason why the shadow of immaturity, and I like all of y'all here, I don't have a negative vibe in this pile. The reason why the shadow may struggle a little bit is because of the immaturity of and a lack of self-awareness, and that's what you want, that's what you desire, that's what you're really most going to be attracted to, because people, your actual type that you're compatible with, if you're hyperactive in your sacral, right, they are not, because it's a lack of balance, right? Being underactive in your sacral is not, it's just as bad as being overactive, but the side that's overactive is overstimulating for where you're, I guess, going to end up, or what you're going to realize you actually want down the line. Does that make sense? Because the type that you're most compatible with is real judgmental type. I'm not going to lie. Mutable placements absolutely are. They absolutely are. And I'm not saying this person has mutable placements, but 8 times out of 10, they probably do, regardless of which sign. So if you ground too deeply in that sacral overactive sense, it may be self-sabotage down the line as you encounter even 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that embody this archetype that's on the table, because they're not going to go for it, right? They're not going to be interested in it because that's the nature of the personality that you're actually compatible with. Okay? All right. So let me keep pulling these cards because I got a lot going on. Some of you actually are being told to pivot in some way when it comes to love, and that can mean a variety of different things. I don't know who you're dealing with now. If you got 2 different people you're dealing with, 2 opportunities for love that you're dealing with, you're being told to pivot. I don't know what you're doing or why, and I'm not digging, because you saw the rebound card and now I choose them. I'm not digging. Remind me in the comments if it's very important to some of you. And I may do a reading on like what the pivot is, because I need content anyway, right? We can do some new stuff anyway. Even if only y'all and members want it, let me know. We can do it for members. Doesn't matter to me. I just need to find the time to do it. Or maybe one of the other readings can help you. But let me see. Tell me more about my part 1, Religious. See what I'm saying? A lot of you are really mostly attracted to religious types. Whether I mean like literal religion, like religious practices, or just a person that is consistent in nature. It's funny, I was working on one of my things that y'all are gonna see soon today, and that archetype was something I was thinking about and conceptualizing related to that. So yeah, that hit the table. And so just know that's, it feels like a lot of you are really attracted to people that are strict. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like your type is strict, okay? So yeah, strict. Religious in terms of like their health, their routine, their wellness, the things like, everything that, let me see, tell me more. And some of you are like, yeah, that's exactly what I need. That's exactly what I want, because that's the type of personality that's gonna lead me and get me in line. I mean, yeah, but if you're so used to not being in line yourself, I could see that friction where you put yourself in a position where you're so used to living in a way and maneuvering life in a way that truly makes you incompatible with their type. Like they're compatible with you because they're going to get you in alignment with what you're supposed to be doing, but you're out of alignment with them because now they're having to overextend. I feels like this pile is being cautioned from living in a way where your desired type has to overextend. And I will move forward with that that other side as well. I want to see what's going on. See, very strict. They want a partner they can be proud of, a partner that they can they don't have to be embarrassed to bring around people. Like, that's your type. And I know I'm talking a lot of you, I'm talking to you, right? I'm actually talking to the lighter side, if that makes sense. I'm leaning in the shadow because I always want to fix y'all. I always want to help y'all be better. But because, like, don't get caught in a situation where you end up you end up out of alignment and learning karmic lessons via karmic cycles with people that aren't compatible with you, because you can't align with what is compatible with you properly. That's not going to benefit you. That's going to set you back years. Okay. My lighter side of the pile, you want somebody that's strict. You're kind of strict yourself, and I want to help you know, like, if it feels like your love life is a little dry, a little slow, that's because you need to make sure that you're in alignment with those personality types that mirror yours. I find that a lot of you may isolate because mine is restricted energy and lives in your head a lot. So I need you to go out a little more than just whatever religious home you go to. Like, go outside, because the shadow of you is, yeah, you're in alignment and knowing what you like, but you're never putting yourself in position proximity with what you like. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, you're self-aware, but what does it matter if you're not gonna experience it, right? Because just like that other side's shadow is where they may be overactive in their sacral, you may be underactive in your sacral. See, everybody gets called out here. See, we got the rebound energy here. Really interesting energy. I got the parrot. Oh, okay. Because of the nature of the content that I just literally put out there, your type is not what you're dealing with now. So if you're dealing with somebody right now, no. Regardless of where you fall, because that's the pivot. The pivot is I don't know. It's a no. I really don't understand what's going on. Let me sit with it. Okay, so boom. So I discovered, sitting with the table and slowing down the energy, that there's a reason why it may be a little confusing to realize you're compatible with your type. Like, some of you are like, yeah, I know my type, but my type doesn't like me for this reason, that reason, whatever, or I just don't know. I can never find my type. And so basically, you and your type are actually gonna, like, open each other up more. So I don't want y'all to feel like, okay, I mentioned the overactive sacral side, right? I don't want you to feel like that's not a way you should be. I don't want you to be overactive or underactive in any sense, right? That's out of balance. So that doesn't mean that your sensual desires have to go unfulfilled. What I'm saying is, your type seems strict because they are, but they are in alignment with that same sacral energy as you. They're just not frivolous with it. They're a little more restricted with it. And I don't judge, I don't care, but I'm saying the archetype on this table opens up and becomes a lot more bright and vibrant and friendly and happy once they've established that foundation. Once there's some consistency, once there's some religion, once there's some consistency, some trust, some religious steps taken. Like, and I'm not saying like spirituality, I mean just being religious with the way you're acting, which is consistency, right? They open up more, they become a lot more engaged, they become a lot more sacral in nature and less strict and rigid in nature, like that. I'm not saying your true type is mean. I don't think that they are mean, even if some of you, they would be mean to you initially because they have strong boundaries and they have strong discernment regarding certain types of red flags. Okay, so interesting. And those of you where you are underutilizing your sacral energy, this personality that you're attracted to, same as you, it's a mirror, right? Twins, okay? That's because you're going to open each other's sacral a lot more, right? Like, you're going to connect with your type and you'll open up more. And this table leans into a more specific person that I'm not looking for. So go to the other readings, like maybe the What's My Soulmate, whatever readings. But there's at least a very specific archetype, which would be the same type of person in different body form that you should be leaning into. That just seems like maybe you would be interpreting it at face value as strict. Okay, so we're almost done. Tell me more about what my pile number one is secretly attracted to. I bet you this pile is way longer than I wanted it to be. I wasn't keeping up with the time. Tell me more about my Orange Sparks Cupcake. Yeah, sacral is emotional support. Best part is like a movie. I always describe it as that way, but it mentions bringing out the best part of each other. You're going to be a lot more creative, a lot more friendly, a lot more happy with your ideal type. Now, you'll know you're not dealing with your ideal type because you'll be a little more grouchy, a little more frustrated than normal. Okay, that's a telltale sign you're dealing with somebody that's not your ideal type, whether you think you're compatible or not. Like, you become more friendly and happy in love and expressive in love, not more restricted, more shut down. And I hope I made that clear, because I know I described your ideal type as strict, but it's not strict as in restrictive, it's strict as in consistent, right? Like, there's the pattern, there's a routine, there's a level of comfort that when things are predictable and stable in a connection or just in life, you have the freedom to feel really good and be expressive. Like, happiest people are stable and consistent. They're not sure what tomorrow's gonna hold. You know what I mean? When you're worried like that, when you're anxious like that, that does stress you out with the mind. So know that the stability and the consistency, regardless of gender, that comes with your actual type opens you up, makes life feel like a movie. Okay? Makes life feel like a movie. Very emotionally supportive is one of the things that you need. And let me pull from this last deck. I'll get your advice, because y'all took a lot of time, pile one. Look at you. Look at you. I'm going to use this really karmic deck so you can tell me more about my pile ones regarding who they're actually attracted to. I mean, I can't make this up. I told you to be a little more restrictive with your energy. And if you are, don't be pressured by societal norms, especially like some of y'all are like, oh, man, it's been a long time and people are treating me like something's weird about me. Or if you're religious and you're like literally like abstinent celibate, like, don't let anyone pressure you out of that, because I feel like everybody should be able to do what they want to do when they want to do it, where it's not hurting themselves. Like, right? If that's what you need to be doing for now, you're being supported, because this power where I'm telling you, I got that strong abstinent. You need to be holding your energy back unless you're dealing with someone that is in alignment with what I got, because mirror, compromise, the twins, I got the mirror effect. Okay. hilariously enough, I mentioned the mirror effect of this pile, and I mentioned like some of you have certain tendencies that this archetype mirrors back to you. It does say you share unwanted habits and traits with a new love interest. And like a good example of that is that subset of you guys where I said something about like a lot of you that are on that overactive sacral side don't want a partner that's overactive in their sacral. So it's like, you better watch that, because it's like you don't want a partner that's like that, but you're maneuvering the plane like that. You see what I'm saying? So just be careful, be mindful of that. Like, that's just all I'm saying, because we do have a guard on guard. And your ideal type is not very sacral up front. And that's going to be the thing for you, okay? I'm not worried about y'all that know that already. But those of you that don't, that you pick this, you're like, ooh, I love that orange. I love that orange. Your ideal partner is not very sacral up front. They are very on guard as they get to know people, especially when they see red flags, that mirror their own unwanted habits, because what better red flags to identify than the ones you know you have yourself, right? So just keep all of that in mind when you're dealing with people, because those are critical themes in what may be making it difficult for you in engaging your type. Because I feel like at least 70% of y'all know your type. You just struggle with connecting deeper with it, because these are not surface level people that just jump on you. That's not, even if they're super friendly, it takes a while to really get to know them, okay? So let me get your advice. I'll give you a lot of advice. I don't think you need any more. And just so we're clear, I want that side that's super underactive in your sacral. I'm not saying you need to not be abstinent, because I do encourage that if that's something you genuinely feel called, then that's what you need, especially since it's a dominant theme in a pile. What I'm saying is, being abstinent does not mean that you completely just avoid your sacral chakra, right? There are a lot of ways you can elevate your creative energy. There are a lot of ways you can express yourself creatively. Like, you need to be enhancing your sacral chakra in a many different ways, because right now it's underutilized, and I'm not just talking about sensually. Okay, there's a lot of different things you need to be doing, creating, expressing, just participating in, because when your sacral is underactive, you're not even in a position to find love anyway, because you're not in that expression of connecting and emotional intimacy, right? You're not in an expression of creating and experiencing the people and the situations around you. So you need to step into a more sacral era so that you can actually break the dry spell in the healthy way, right? Whether it's via marriage, for those of you that are super religious, or just in a stable, committed relationship that you seem to want, okay? All right. So let me get your advice and shut you down. For my pile number 1, with advice. 2. See, these are sacral energies. Eternal charisma and passion. Go outside, live your life, express yourself. Those of you that are overactive, stay outside, live your life, express yourself. Just stop sharing yourself intimately with anybody if that's something you're doing, just because that you don't have to experience people physically all the time, right? You can experience people mentally, right? Spiritually. You can just spend time with people sometimes, right? But I don't want any of you to start restricting yourselves from connecting with others, because having a healthy sacral is very important, okay? So you're likable, share your personality more, be expressive, come out of your shell, be passionate, explore things that make you feel more passionate. There's at least one specific connection that's going to allow you to go deeper in that. We've got the crab here, which is water, sacral energy of letting go and allowing yourself to just experience in the healthiest way. All right, so I'm going to close you out, move along to pile number 2. All right, pile number 2, my raspberry buttercream cupcake with the pink candle. We're going to take a look at what you're secretly attracted to and what you desire and love, because we're exposing y'all's feelings today. And I want to say something about this pile already is one of just extreme, just synchronicities overall. So I don't know if that's just something you like. It's like when you get like the confirmation that you should be dealing with somebody. Like, I know a lot of you watch tarot and study astrology, and it's like part of your spiritual journey. So like some of you, like, getting confirmation from the divine is something that like you want when you're dealing with people. And I didn't think that would come through. Okay. Like, because you even have the new moon in Taurus, which is prosperity lies ahead. It feels like you want a partner where you start seeing signs and synchronicities from the universe that lets you know you're on your right path, just in general. Okay. So interesting, because Taurus is a Venus ruled sign, and this would be the cupcake that's more like Venus in nature. Especially since I have a Visions of Venus playlist, which is like, what are you attracting? What are you pulling in? Whatever the title of it is, there's a playlist and it's pink. So some of you picked it for that very reason. And I'm just confirming. And that could truly just be a descriptor for like the type of partner you want. Yeah, South Node feels like a past life tie. So like you are really attracted to depth. Okay, so especially those of you that may be new, just now starting your spiritual journey, just now starting to like tarot and things like that. Like if you just found me, I'm letting you know that this is just the beginning of like where you're going and what you're evolving into, because you want a soulmate that there's really a lot of depth with. You want a partner that feels like a past life tie. You want the synchronicities and things like that. And I'm not saying the connection itself is going to be like woo-woo esoteric. I'm not saying you're both going to live lives as woo-woo esoteric people when you end up with someone that embodies that archetype. But it does seem like there's a basis of it there in a way that matters enough to you. We've got the cardinal moon, which is be bold and make the first move. You need a go-getter. You need a partner that's very action-oriented. Like, you need a partner that moves, that does not hesitate when it comes to pursuing you, their goals, living life. Okay, like there's nothing more active than this combination that I have here. So let me see. Look at that. Hilariously enough, and I'll develop it because I know I have a largely feminine audience. This is the pile that is actively seeking a very active feminine. Okay? So I might be describing you, right? And that would be why the masculine selecting this pile, I'm reading you because probably compatible with you, right? But this is my very powerful divine feminine energy. Definitely go to those Venus readings, the Visions of Venus playlist, because that's you or what you're attracted to, that power. So where you are the feminine here, I'm seeing you want a partner that's going to let you be the embodiment of the Empress. Like, you want to be that cupcake. You want to be expressing that, whether you realize it or not. Okay? Which is why you're coming into this pile, because the masculine selecting this pile actually are attracted to the really driven, very active feminine archetype. And I'm not going to lead with that because that's not the dominant audience, but like that very active, very like go-getter archetype. Whereas those of you that are the feminine selecting this pile, whether you acknowledge it or not, there's an underlying feeling of wanting to kind of just sit down and be the Empress. Not saying be passive, not saying be overly receptive, not saying being taken care of, but there's a certain underlying, right? We're talking about what you're secretly attracted to. You're secretly attracted to the type of masculine that's going to be more of an emperor, go getter, move, right? So tell me you're secretly attracted to and desire and love. My pile number 2. Consistency, the ability to build tangible results. You need someone that is who they are. Like, right? Like, there's a lot of conversations, there's a lot of dreams just in the world, right? You need a partner that executes. The word execution is a thing. Like, executes, gets things done, right? Because that's the 8 of Pentacles. It's someone that's very talented, that knows what they're doing, that does it, and does so effectively, right? Efficiently, consistently, all of that. And it doesn't feel very strict. It just feels like I said I was going to do it, so I did, right? That's the vibe of this pile is I said I was going to do it, so I did. We got the 5 of Pentacles of the outsider. The letter O could be a thing. There's a slightly, so the funny thing about it is a lot of you here feel like you're really compatible with people that kind of keeps to themselves just a little bit. That just kind of keep their head down. They get a lot of work done. They go move. Like, they're busy. They're building. But, like, they don't really, like, it feels like the type of personality that's not I don't want to say that they're not social, but they're rarely social without a purpose, right? Like, you know, you'll most likely find this personality working. Okay? So tell me more. My pile 2. Okay. Yeah, we got the awareness. I heard the words someone that is a nurturer, someone that is a provider, someone that is good with children. So basically, anyone that's going to make you feel safe and at home and like family. Now, I know that seems like common sense when I word it like that, but everyone's not nurturing. Everyone doesn't have a mentality of being a provider. And I'm not using those in the form of gender. I'm using them as two halves of one whole, like as one person. So you need someone that can take care of you. You need someone that can take care of children. Not saying you need someone to do those things. You just need a partner that gives you the safety, the security of being capable. Okay? But there's a bit of a rebellious energy here with that personality of the outsider there. So we've got traveling, which is the 8 of Wands, which is that go-getter action person. Okay, it's like someone that moves, does not hesitate. And I know I'm repeating that, but for whatever reason, you need to know that you are not attracted to people that lack a sense of urgency or just lack the ability to move, that lack personal power and influence. Like you're not, I don't care what you think you're attracted to. You're not. Okay, you're attracted to this that I'm describing because it hit the table too many times in a row for me to like not lay it on thick that way. Okay, you're a group where if you pay attention to like when you really realize you were attracted to people, pay attention to the fact that you're really attracted to somebody's like power, like their personal power, the way they maneuver their energy, the way they control certain situations, the way they manage things. Like you may realize like you're stimulated by people that fix something or that fix some type of complex problem, or that's just really smart, strategic, just good at maneuvering situations. Like if you pay attention, you'll see this foundation as the root of everything you're attracted to. I promise. Okay, so yeah, look at that. House 6. That's that house that rules the 8 of Pentacles. That's the house of efficiency. Actually, you know what? So I actually had to pause you and I wrote the note about the provider really quick because I didn't want to forget. And I accidentally like typed the number 8 in there. And you've got 2 8s and I didn't even catch that. So like 8 is a number, but 8 also rules authority. It rules structure. It rules like ambition, responsibility, like a lot of what I'm talking about here, right? House 6 is our mundane material house of like our physical body, our health, our wellness. So you are a person that needs a partner that's considerate of their health, of their wellness, of your health, of your wellness, and the well-being of any people that you're in the care of, like that are in your care, right? Okay, let me see. Let me get more. My Gourmet Raspberry Buttercream. House 5. Children are on the table. Children are a really big deal. So this could, now, yeah, we could be talking about like inner child, someone that's really in tune with their inner child. I don't know if this is the pile that like secretly is desiring children for whatever reason. That's not my business. But it's like you are secretly desiring a partner that's going to be really good with children. So I don't know what space, place you're in, who you're dealing with, what types you normally chase, but you're secretly desiring someone that would be very, very, very good with children. Someone that's in tune with their inner child, someone that's very fun, very playful, but also stable, strict, and like routine, right? Like an adult that knows how to have fun would be if I had to sum it all up. So I want to get one more from here. That Scorpio card really wants to be here. Virgo rules the 6th house. We're not taking any of this because I was not quite ready. Someone may have a Scorpio Mars. That may be you. That may be a placement you're very, very compatible with, which Mars is the original ruler of Scorpio. So it makes sense with all of this hustle-driven energy. But I want to get one more card for my pile number 2. Someone that brings order to chaos and is very quick and swift in being able to do that. Yeah, we'll talk about healing situations, right? And I think this is interesting, and this may sound vain, but there's nothing wrong with you wanting a healthy partner. You want a partner that heals very quickly, like that doesn't really get sick very often. We're all compatible with different things. I'm not like judging anyone here. I'm not judging anyone, but like that's something for some of you. Like it's more fun if you have a partner that's not in emotional turmoil, because when we talk about healing and things like that, we don't have to always be talking about physical healing. We could be talking about people's mind and their emotions, like someone that's fun, that's engaged, that's able to really participate and enjoy life. I've got the Aquarius energy here, which would be the sign that kind of rules like collective energy. Now it's less about the friendship of the house 5 Leo energy and more about like the connecting with the right types of people for the right reasons situation. So reputation does seem to be a big deal for you, which make sure you're considering that if you know that that's something you really care about. So what else? Tell me more about my pile number 2. Some of you are a little all over the place. You're not really that stable. You're not really like consistent enough to know what you are really attracted to, like what you actually desire. Okay. So I'm not like calling you out, but I just want to bring that to your attention of like kind of sitting with what you're actually attracted to. Let me pull more. Performer. Really good with people in general. Very well liked. You need a partner that's well liked. If you have like if your partner is not necessarily destined to be like a villain. They can be a little bit of an outsider, a little rebellious, a little bit unique, but not so much so that people don't like them. Okay? Have to be like, and that's okay, because you know, we don't all have the certain. It's very difficult to be with a person that's generally just not liked by most people. Okay? Like, I could see why that would even be a thing. I'm shocked that it hit the table, and I don't know what you've historically been chasing, but you need a partner that is liked, that is well liked, that is well respected by people. I'm not saying like by all kinds of people across the world. I mean like around you. Like if you have like a certain social circle and you're dating people that kind of have a reputation that's negative, or like people don't trust them, stop that immediately. And I don't normally like to have you guys lean into gossip, but it's a big deal. Okay, it's a really big deal. Now you like fun people. Okay, I need you to know that you like fun people, and you're confusing, or historically have confused people that are very, what's the word I'm looking for? I see it a lot. You seem to crave stability in a way where you think that people that are fun lack it. Like people that are fun seem a little too childlike, too playful. Like you may consider like people that enjoy stuff like they play too much. You may be like that. Okay? And the reason why I bring that up is because you seem to like a certain level of stability that in the shadow sense could be alarming. Okay? Like because you fear instability and you crave stability, the type that you gravitate towards, that you see that with, is very, very strict in a controlling way. Like these are people that possibly wouldn't be very well liked because they're ruthless. They'll do whatever they got to do. That's why like the shadow expression of that number 8 is like they willing to do anything, whatever they got to do to be stable. They don't care who they have to cross. They don't care what has to happen. Like they're willing to do anything to get what they want, to get what's going to give them stability. Doesn't matter who they impact. So that's what I mean by you are attracted to stability and security, but make sure that you're not like seeking out partners that lack the ability to empathize with people, that lack the collective discernment, that lack the ability to have fun and just enjoy life. Because the shadow expression of somebody that's always willing to just do whatever they need to do, they'll do anything they need to do. You see what I'm saying? in a way that could even be dangerous, and that's why people don't like them. So just know who you're dealing with, the way you're dealing with, okay? Because I saw that it came through, and it took a while for it to ground, but now that it hit me, it stabilized. Okay, popularity. Yeah, you do well with popular partners, not infamous partners. Popular, like very well liked, very well liked, very well liked. Okay, someone that's good at influencing people in the best ways. That's what you're attracted to, even if they may initially come across as a little cold. And that's why it's hard to discern your type, because your type does have a little bit of a mask, some of you, but like that's not how they actually are. They're not like the type to be necessarily immoral and to get over on people. But it seems like you mistake the types that are immoral and that will get over on people for your personality type that you're looking for, okay? And that's an easy mistake as you're growing, evolving, and things like that. I think I'm talking too much because I'm getting like a random rasp in my throat that I literally don't know where that would come from. Okay, so interesting. Some of y'all not ready for this message. Let me get. Tell me more about my power two, what you're secretly attracted to and desire in love. What are your true feelings? All right, pile two. So it took me a second to kind of pull all of this together and see what this underlying energy I'm struggling to like translate was, but I got it, and I'm realizing why it's like that, because I really don't want that energy for you. So some of you need to be cognizant of the fact that you are, whether you're consciously attracted to or trying to be attracted to, or if it's just your trauma bonding you to people like this, it's very abusive, okay? So what you want, what is healthy for you, it would be a partner that is not going to go for any toxic traits of you, that's going to have boundaries, that would be willing to leave you if they need to, out of self-respect, out of self-love. What it seems like you're at, or at least historically, I'll say historically because I don't want to sound accusatory, what you've historically sought out is not that. It's close enough to where I see why you did it, but the difference is a little more sinister and dangerous than what you actually are attracted to, because like you have this thing with partners that are abusive in that they would leave you to prove a point. They would put you in third party situations to prove a point. They abuse you in the means of like training you and being perceived as strict. So like basically like a retaliatory lover. You're not really attracted to that. You're attracted to people that respect themselves enough to not let you disrespect them. Not people that would actively disrespect you or treat you poorly. It caught me. I didn't see it, but I found it. I'm glad I took my time to cut through. That is there. Okay, so please know that distinction. Know that distinction. Because that distinction is critical and very, very important for you in your journey. All right. I'm glad we slowed down enough to catch that. Leave those abusive people alone, where we're talking mentally, emotionally, physically. That's not what you need. Okay. All right. Make sure you're dealing with people that are very authentic too, not people that wear a mask consistently to where it's like really performative. Like, because performer in social media is someone that wants to be perceived one way in public, and then like it's a whole nother personality behind closed doors, right? So just watch that. And I don't mean it like a privacy thing, because look at me, Onyx, the faceless tarot reader on YouTube, right? I'm not talking about like people that are just private with their personal business, that have good categories in life. I mean like people that have a certain reputation, because some of you like people that aren't well liked. Some of you like people that shouldn't be well liked. You see how that slipped in? Like some people that may have a really positive reputation publicly, but like behind closed doors, if people knew, if a person knew, you gotta watch that. You see what I'm saying? Like just mind your energy. Because I got a lot of you here. You have a like this random mix of things you think you like in people, and like put them together and you think that's good enough, and like I think you're still grounding, you're still stabilizing in your own identity for those of you selecting this pile, enough to where you'll be able to discern what's compatible with you, because there's some grounding needed for this group, because this pile had me all over the place. I'm actually ready to get out of it. Not because I don't like this cupcake. I like y'all, but it's a lot. So, all right, and if I seem all over the place, forgive me. I haven't felt this way in a while. That's the chaos that is this pile, which what I love most, because I'm also multitasking, about this pile, anytime I call y'all's energy chaotic, that is not disrespectful. I mean that with the utmost potential. When you have a chaotic energy, guess what? Guess what happens when you ground? You can create something. So like, I want y'all to make sure like y'all are really using this energy, and like the fact that it seems like you may struggle focusing and all of that, like y'all got a lot of untapped energy in this pile. There's so much more you could be doing just in general beyond this reading that I am talking about, because the energy is a lot. It's just not grounded. It's not focused on anything right now. Okay, so I need you grounded and focused on something, right? Yes, the best part. This card came out in the previous pile, but you know what, it's a whole new meaning here. So this is what I want you to do. Kind of figure out who you are, figure out what it is you like to do, the things that you're interested in, because right now it seems like you have a vague personality that you think you're attracted to, and it's not because you're actually attracted to it, it's because you think it's what you should be attracted to. Because performer, social media, and if life were a movie, feels like very fantasy based perspective on love. I don't mean being a romantic at heart. I don't mean, you know, being a lover or yearner. I mean like your ideal partner is very fantasy based. Not because, and I don't say that negatively, like you're not gonna get a fantasy partner. I say that because in you seeking a fantasy partner, you're kind of aligning yourself with energy that may be a little bit predatory towards you, or not even predatory, because maybe what if you're the predator? You're seeking out these people, right? Like I'll give you the power, right? But in you seeking that out, they're still taking advantage of you in some way, right? It just feels like that. Or in you attempting to take advantage of people, you're aligning with people that can match your energy. I hope that makes sense. So tell me more about this pile number 2, because you know what, I did send you to those Venus readings. You may be seeking a certain Venus lifestyle with a partner, and I'm not wording that in any particular way, but I mean like you have an ideal, like you work a certain way, you have certain stuff, you like certain stuff, you've built a certain lifestyle, or you're looking to build a certain lifestyle, and there's a very specific type of partner that aligns with that. And if I just don't want you to get so lost in the sauce of like the superficial tangible part of it, because we did have the new moon in Taurus. I'm remembering now that I'm grounding, that you lose sight of like the actual compatibility, the actual quality of person. Because some of you are losing not only track of compatibility, some of you, it doesn't matter compatibility or not. Some of the people that you're attracted to or looking to be attracted to are just not people anybody needs to be attracted to. That's the one judgmental thing you'll get out of Onyx. Like, I don't want y'all attracted to some of these people. Now, I gave you really good things. I gave you distinctions, right? I did. I gave you distinctions on how to tie in what you do like with what's healthy, because it's not even that you're wrong. You only see the half truth of the overall situation. So watch this pile more than once and listen to what I said more than once. And oh, y'all need a lot of attention. Okay, and that's the problem. You need too much attention. So don't seek out partners that will give you tons of attention, tons of negative attention just for the sake of getting the attention. Please don't do that. I see it all the time. I hate it, because it's always somebody in a bad situation, because you want attention so bad. You need a partner that gives you attention so bad, or you love the chase of getting the attention from somebody that typically is a little nonchalant so bad that you end up in a really bad situation. Stop. Stop. Because your soulmate, right? The compatible energies around you, the people that will align with you naturally will just give you their attention. They'll just give you their attention, and it'll be positive attention, and it will be like a movie, but it won't be all this energy. It won't be all this effort. Okay? There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of effort. Okay? Which makes sense because you do like people that will chase. But chase in pursuit. Chase in terms of being decisive in action. Not chase you down and then abuse you. Chase you down and then ghost you. Because some of you, I see that. Okay? It's a lot in here that I can't. Because it feels like a lot of you are treating these like personal readings. And ooh, I love it for y'all. Because I want y'all to get, if you can get it from me for free, I don't want y'all to have to pay. Like, I'm just like that. But I also am working on other things. And I hope, you know, I can find more time and be a little more efficient with my time to get all this stuff together. So that y'all can have more variations of me. So that I can better support y'all. Give y'all more of what y'all need and stuff like that. Okay? I got Game of Conquest. That's what I'm saying, right? This new level, try hard to win your heart. Be certain it's not a game. You're confusing conquest energy with someone that's showing genuine interest, right? You want a partner that's going to be engaged with you, and you're confusing conquest energy for being really engaged with you. Okay? Don't be wrapped up in the fact that you're getting attention, especially if it's negative, for the sake of like thinking, oh, that's my type. My type, I want them to chase me down. I want them to be jealous. Don't do that. Game of Conquest is here, okay? Protected by love. Yeah, you like territorial partners. Guess what? There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't know that you've seen enough of the healthy expression of that to distinguish it from what you in, okay? Whatever that is. Okay? Because yes, you are compatible with people that chase you down, that are very protective over you, but they will not abuse you, and they will not let anyone else abuse you. And even when we talk about like third party situations, they wouldn't put you in that because they're very protective of you, right? They would never have you in a third party situation. They would never put you out, whatever, right? Because I got the raspy voice that I did not have all day, and I'm not sick, so I feel like there's a whole throat chakra, a silencing thing, and I feel it in my chest, like my in my heart space. Like there's a heavy energy of being silenced and abused. That's not your type. You gotta sit with yourself and go to therapy, and you can even take this reading to therapy. If you got a woo-woo therapist, bring this with you and unpack the whole what you're actually attracted to in alignment with like distinguishing it from the toxic abusive qualities that you think are what you're attracted to, like the healthier expressions of that. Because I may take the time, if I can find some, y'all, to make notes for members, and we'll see, because there's something here, okay? And I want y'all to sit with it. All right, let me get your advice and I'll close you out. Yeah, you need to be confident. Be very, very confident in who you are, because if people that are confident don't need all this attention. They don't need somebody that's chasing them down, right? People with confidence know when someone's being authentic in their interests, right? Because you're confident enough to where you don't need the validation, you don't need the attention, to where you can sit and really ask yourself, what is this person's motives when they're dealing with me, right? Why is this person interested in me? What is it about me that they like? And if you actually can see the genuine compatibility and connection, then you know, but you'll have the confidence to discern, the confidence to walk away when it's not alignment with you, okay? Don't be excited because people are giving you attention, okay? I got the crowned bee and the sunflower. Look at that. Okay, heavy, heavy honeybee vibes. So be confident, and that's going to lead you to your happiness. And lean into where you're happy. That's going to make you more confident. And everything I said takes you back to this, okay? So I'm going to close you out and move along to pile number 3. So interestingly enough, pile number 3, you're the Festive Almond Buttercream chocolate cupcake with the sparks. I guess the spark is exciting. I guess this is supposed to be festive, but I don't feel that. So we're looking at what you're secretly attracted to and what you desire in love. So we're exposing your true feelings, but everything about this pile was really slow, really patient. So let me get an overview for that, because I could see a potential shadow where it's like you think you're attracted to one, right? Something slow and patient, but you really need festive and exciting and sparks. or you think you want festive, exciting, and sparks, and you need slow and patient, that would be more of a shadow. But like, I don't know. I don't want to talk too soon. Let me go ahead and get in here. I feel like this is going to be a good pile, though. We got show the world the real you. It's too much going on. It's a lot of full moons. And then interesting. Okay, I'm not taking all. That's too much. That's too much context. I think y'all like people that explain a lot, that give a lot of clarity, that really validate you. I love it. Okay, we got the South Node. Okay, so we got the little past life sparks. I could see that. And I have it's time to release negativity. Okay, easy going. Rolls with it, doesn't hold grudges, doesn't cling to the past, is willing to kind of move on, doesn't have a lot of past baggage. I see that. I see that a lot. You want someone that's excited. You want someone that's like enthused by life, but you also want someone that has patience for the journey. That's those of you that are well-rounded enough to kind of really identify what you want, right? Everybody else, you think you want fast, you want slow, you think you want slow, you want fast. Those are the three. So let me pull from the tarot so we can see what's really going on. The way you know where you fall, it's going to be based on your past trauma, right? We've got don't let your past hold you back, and it's time to release negativity. So if you have trauma where now you've kind of like compartmentalized people, like, okay, people that move too fast, that's how I see it. People that move too slow, that's how I see it. Like if you have trauma with either side, then you're actually compatible most likely with the side that you're associating with your trauma. You're just misplacing it or misreading it, mismanaging it. And we'll talk through it because there's at least one other pile where we did something similar, where it's like, it's not that you don't know your type, it's not that you're confusing your type, it's just that you're confusing people for the personality type that you're desiring, right? So based on behaviors and patterns that you're used to seeing. So we've got the 10, which is Wheel of Fortune, of change. You know, we had that lucky instance pop out. Like we had the lucky card at the beginning. I got the mind. You're going to have to change your mind, okay? I want to start with this. You're going to have to change your perspective. You're going to have to be a little more open-minded, okay? Because if you have trauma, or if you have historical data, doesn't have to be your own, things you've observed in other connections, you think slow is bad or you think fast is bad, you need that, right? So like I said, some of you here, you are extremely compatible with a really excited, passionate, festive type. You just, somebody hurt you that had that, or you like the slow, patient, steady, or you thought you liked it and then you decided you didn't like that, but it's because somebody like that hurt you. You see what I'm saying? That's what I have. It's like, okay, the Band-Aid was ripped off, somebody's mask came off, and it just threw you all the way off because now you've questioned your whole reality, your whole type. You think that like you were all the way wrong and what you're compatible with because some dodo mishandled you. Okay? No, 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 no. Do not completely change your type because of that past trauma. Now, and I say that because I'm most likely going to get ways to identify the distinction. Okay? Now, there are some of you here, you need to change, be open-minded, broaden your perspective. And that's why you're in a pile, because you're in a pile with people that are so fixed in their perspective because they were hurt and jaded by life or things they've observed. So like you're in the pile with these people. And if that's not you, then think about what that means about how fixed you are and how determined you are to be compatible with people that you're not compatible with. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so let me see where we're going with this. Give me one more in the bottom. Okay. Yeah, see, look at that tower. I told you that's that trauma. And that's the complete restructuring, right? Reprogramming that's going to be necessary to align you with your type. And like I said, some of you, it's an energetic frequency. You know that's your type. You just traumatized, so you're trying to change it, or you thinking that whatever happened the way it happened is because you were chasing a type that was not yours, but it was just that one person, okay? Or those two people. Like you're misaligning the personality types. You're miscategorizing the people, okay? The rest of you, I don't know. You just not We need to reprogram you so that you're in alignment with your type. Okay, so let me see what's going on. I know I got a lighter side in here somewhere. Everybody here is a lighter side in terms of hope, but like I'm trying to find, if you came from that other pile that referenced the shifting of types, I'm gonna put it in the notes. Yeah, it that referenced the shifting of types and evolution of perspective. Then you're the lighter side. That's the only, like, I can see that. But I'm just gonna not make this longer than it needs to be. We have Mercury of the mind, okay, thinking, learning, networking, communicating, aligning with the right people, right, energetically and mentally, right. The confusion is that there's confusion, okay. So here, yeah, I got house 3, which is ruled by Mercury. That's Gemini energy. Your problem is that you historically dealt with some real two-faced people that threw you off, okay? That's throwing you off. Don't let that throw you off, okay? Real two-faced people. And the reason why that's an issue is because you like people that are dual. You like people that know how to carry themselves in certain ways, in certain places, in certain environments. Like, you meet here is like Onyx. I'm a normal human person outside of YouTube. Like, I'm on YouTube doing this. I carry myself a certain way professionally in like an office setting. I carry myself a certain way when I'm like out with friends, when I'm out with family. Like, it's different versions of Onyx you're going to get. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there's something about the things that the people that move a certain way have done, it just two-faced, moving funny, have done, that threw you off, or is throwing you off. Because now you associate being multifaceted in whatever personality type with, oh no, that's a red flag. Oh no, that's a red flag. Oh no, that's a red flag. You see what I'm saying? I told another pile today to go to therapy if it's intense. So definitely, I always encourage y'all to do, right? So tell me more about my pile number 3. Libra scales of balance. Okay, consideration, fairness, and harmony. Yeah, you need a partner that's very good at communicating. You need a partner that's very gifted with their words. You need a partner that the problem is that the personality type that you are attracted to genuinely, in its shadow sense, can be very manipulative and a liar. That's the shadow of what you are attracted to. We all have shadows. It just seems like you've experienced the most extreme sense of the shadow of what you're attracted to, or you've observed it in a way that is throwing you off. Okay? Don't let that, yeah, don't do that. Okay? Please don't do that. Okay? Because you are attracted to what you are attracted to. The only way that it's not is if you don't have this trauma I'm talking about. That means you in a pile with people that's traumatized, so they're avoiding their type, which means you're traumatized in some other area of life to where it's throwing you off to where you can't identify your type. That's everybody. I can't make something up in the pile that's not here. So if you do not know your type, or if you do not have this trauma, I'm telling you, you don't know your type. You got to change. All this transition, transformational, this miscommunication all over the table. Why is it like that? We got rags to riches. Some of you are typically attracted to people for the wrong reasons, or you lean into people that are attracted to you for the wrong reasons, possibly because y'all might be that group that's like, I don't have a type. All right, about 3. So I did have to pause, and I just want you to know that regardless of what I've been saying and where you go from here, you are in alignment. And this reading you're getting at this moment is genuinely just meant to make sure you shift your perspective regardless of where you fall, because I'm multitasking. So I got some other things that I have to check in on, and in me doing that, there was some alignment with that. And you even have this thief energy, right, of just being mindful of people that have ulterior motives. This is where it paused for me when I was preparing to pull for your next set of cards. So like, don't let people shift you, right? Don't let people shift you. Don't just take whatever comes your way romantically because some of you are like that. Like those of you that with that flowy, I don't have a type, I don't know what my type is vibe. Like, don't just take whatever comes your way, because that's how you end up in this pile where you don't have all this heavy trauma, is you're out of alignment with your type because you keep trying to identify as not having a type. We all have things that work and don't work for and with us, right? So tell me, and I'm not saying you need a concrete list. I'm not saying that at all, but it's just there needs to be some uniform energy here, right? Like, there needs to be some structure. So, yeah, see, look at you. One night stand feels like somebody that's just down for whatever, okay? And I get it for those of you that are like a really easygoing person, but I do feel like some of you, that's that trauma. I've got that immaturity with the one night stand. I'm putting it back because I'm not, this is not meant to be a heavy trauma filled reading. I'll be honest with y'all. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move on. So in me shifting, pivoting, I feel like this is a pile of real-time alchemy. So I'm really excited about y'all because I feel like some of y'all are gonna be like, everything has a multiple meaning, right? Like nothing is one linear line, right? We're all interconnected in like the galaxy, universe, whatever you want to call it. And like here, that initial energy of like really passive, patient energy combined with that really festive excitement energy is like being patient with what's gonna light you up for real, genuinely. Like I feel like this is this pile of like you're alchemizing, transforming, transmuting energy real time, whether you're trying to or not, right? Like if you're not, then that means you've stepped into a state of like your subconscious mind is like calling you to either heal or just work on whatever, which is why I encourage y'all to do therapy. If you're at the beginning of your woo-woo spiritual ascension, same vibe. But like those of you that are actively working on everything I'm telling you, this is your confirmation. You're in the right place, right space. You are transforming in a way that's going to allow you to be receptive to what you're actually attracted to, what you actually desire in a healthy way. So if you're working on it, know that however you're doing it, psychologically, right, whether it's spiritually, however, I see you, I hear you. Those of you that don't know, and I'm letting you know, welcome to your awakening. I love it. So let me get a card. Tell me now that we're aware of all of that for pile 3, let's go back. I got 3 more decks before the advice to what it is they're actually attracted to, what it is they actually desire. I'll try, because I'm hoping that it's not the case of like, because it's a collective pile, that all of you like very, very different things. I'm hoping that the one common denominator is not y'all's chaos. I hope that there's an identity that I can pinpoint here, or at least a couple. So what's that? Yeah. Look at that Libra energy. So balance, care, respect. It says reciprocate, grounded, worth. Very stable, very fair energy. Libra feels like 2 halves of a whole, right? It feels like a person, because I don't want to call it a mirror. It's not a mirror, right? It's someone that balances you out in ways you lack, and someone you can balance out in ways that they lack. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the ideal partnership for you. And that's a healthy one. The problem is that we've got this figure, which is not necessarily a feminine vibe. It's one that puts you in a position of overextending, right? Like anytime you see this archetype, male, female, gender neutral, whatever, it's never a fair, balanced connection. It's never a reciprocated connection, because it's someone that's looking to be out for themselves. It's someone that's looking to get for themselves. So you've been seeking this, but you've been stumbling upon this, whether, I don't know the spiritual reasons why, I don't know the psychological reasons why beyond what we've said, but don't let this draining, I'll even use energy vampire in its place, personality, or just person that was like that with you, change the fact that you can have that balanced, reciprocated relationship with your type that I've already identified, or when you identify it, the discernment of knowing what that looks like, right? So for the side that knows better, let's see. Okay, so the side that doesn't know better, my bad. There's a lot of green here. I don't know what that's all about. Some of you are just so far removed from your actual type that it's like foreign to you. Like, I'm about to sneeze, so it must be true. The furthest end of the shadow, for those of you that don't have all this trauma, you just off the deep end and have no idea who you are and what you want, you're not even attracted to the people that you're actually compatible with. Like, you're literally not like attractive. I'm gonna say physically, because sweater is a material item. You are not attracted physically at this point in time to your type. That's crazy to me. But this is the side with no trauma. I'm not talking about those of you that have the trauma, because the reason why you're all in the same power, remember, those of you with the trauma, you probably historically were attracted to your type, but the trauma, now you associate that look, that energy with your trauma. That's what's wrong with over there. The side where you just all flowy and haven't identified anything, it's like you're not attracted to them. And I don't even think that it's that you're not attracted to them, because like you're not physically attracted to them as in they don't look good. It's just so far removed from what you're chasing that it's just, there's no way for you to be in alignment with what you're attracted to right now. Like, you're energetically out of alignment with it. And I don't know how else to let me see what else I can get, because it's so final in the pile that it's like, okay, you gotta just completely be stripped down like the tower, awakened by the thunderbolt, so that you can have the love you actually desire. So I don't know how to where do we go from here? Tell me about this pile 3. I know where we go from here with the traumatized side. You just gotta heal. You have make a move. Okay. Yeah, and I saw control issues. So like I said, that really traumatized side, when people make a move on you, you try to control a situation, or you resist, or you get avoided because of that trauma. I see that. That makes sense. But I still want you to, I want you to, what did I say? I want you to heal. Forgive and heal is here for my side that's like super duper traumatized. Reflect on what I'm saying. This is your confirmation. But I'm trying to help out that side that's just in disarray. The side that's in disarray it feels like a lot of you in that side is like, you just move so fast that you don't have time to ground into your type. You don't have time to ground into situations where you would experience your type. So I need to, and that's really what it is. So like, a lot of you don't stabilize long enough in situations, environments, groups, whatever, long enough to like fully experience your actual type in a healthy way. Because I have memories. So like, there's a distinct memory on the table. Okay, there's a distinct historical instance, which in the traumatized side, it is their past. But you, without that, like, there's an experience that you have where you could have engaged that, right? And I don't know if you either historically would misinterpret people's energy that are actually in alignment with you, or if you would just come at them crazy and they would just not be interested. I don't really know what's going on, but it looks like historically there's at least one instance where you had the opportunity to go deeper with someone that was your actual type, but you couldn't do it. Okay? You just couldn't do it. You wouldn't do it. And listen, the clarity of a past life, like, there's one distinct past life soulmate on the table. And I don't know where else to go. I got 2 more decks. What else can you tell me about my pile 3's type? Okay, so what I need for y'all to know, okay, we have building a future. So that's very important to you, whether you are at that stage of life or not. And we have children. So the one thing that all of you here have in common, y'all have to ask, do you want children? What does life look like with children if you do? What types of partners align with the way you want to raise your children? If you do not, do you want to deal with people that have children? Right? Like, Things like that matter. And I don't know why that's the biggest deal now that I'm wrapping it up, but it's here. Okay, it really is here. And I'm gonna pull from this last deck and get ready to close it out. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know where else to go from this pile because it's a lot of disarray. I hope we can clean it up with this last set. So let me see if I can ground this collective space for this cupcake. Tell me what they're secretly attracted to and desire in love. What can we expose with their feelings? We got the love triangle. Okay. We've got the online connection. Seeking partners that are going to put you in a third-party situation online that's not going to benefit you. We have opposites. Your partner is the opposite of the love triangles online, okay? Your partner is the opposite of the love triangles online, okay? Now I'm going to put this down. That's really specific for some of you, but I just need to know. There's questions about pregnancy. I don't really know what else because it's a lot of confusion just hit the table. If you want a family, your best bet is going to be your equal. That Libra, you are the world energy, power couple. Okay? You're only going to be able, like you subconsciously, those of you that want a family, that want children, where that's in the cards for you. You're only going to be happy with someone that is as stable as you. Okay? Mentally, emotionally, financially. Okay? Like stable, right? Not saying somebody can't make more money than somebody else. I'm not saying nobody's got trauma. I'm saying there's got to be some foundation of being somewhat equally yoked, okay? Somewhere, somehow. Because this is a pile that you needed. Because you seem to have an energy of like you're secretly, like to where you actively seek relationships where you overextend. Right? With people that are looking to score in some way on you. Okay? Rather than doing their own shadow work. And you're chasing them, leaning into them in avoidance of your own shadow work. Okay? So. I'm going to get you some more because I hate how weighted these came out. But whatever. We don't control the table. Tell me more about what they're attracted to. What? Give me some positives. Okay, I said positives. They gave me plan to feel toxic love. Leave those people that are like outside, third party, one night stand, toxic. Leave it alone. Look, see, toxic love, karmic love. They're like, nope, I don't care what you say, Onyx. The table is what the table is. And like, leave the married with children alone. Don't be rebounding with people. Don't be with people that are going to rebound with you. All of the above. That's not your type. The chaos, the karmic situations, the multiple people involved. That's not for you. I don't know what y'all are doing outside, but that's not for you. Okay? And where historically you've gotten caught up in something like that, that's still not for you. And that doesn't mean that your type is not your type. You just experience either the further shadow of your type or you misinterpreted someone's mask or two-faced nature for, like, you took somebody at face value. There's nothing wrong with taking somebody at face value if they're a liar. Like, you could use a little more discernment, but if somebody went out of their way to manipulate you in some way, that's not necessarily on you, right? So I just don't want y'all to sit with that and keep that weighing on you to the point where it throws you off in the way that y'all date and experience people. I don't want that for y'all at all. So, let me see. What advice do I have for pile 3? Yeah, claim your power. Take back your power, please. Because this is a pile of you need to take back your power. Be likable. Be engaged with your type where you know it for sure. Like, be likable, be engaged. Just use your discernment, right? Acknowledge red flags without overreacting to people being human. And those of you where you're like, I don't have all this trauma. I don't know what Onyx is talking about. Well, that means you landed in this pile because you got trauma in some other area of life that has you chasing something that you need to leave alone. Okay? Because if by chance the side that doesn't have all of this trauma, like specific relationship trauma from observing it or experiencing it, it means that the trauma you have is making you seek out or lean into the active shadow of your type. Like maybe it is your type, but you dealing with the very worst of the worst when it comes to them, right? Opposites attract. We got the love triangle. I'm looking for, where did we have? Where was the karmic energy? I had karmic love. I put it on top of this, right? We got toxic love, karmic love, like you're leaning into, even if that is your type, hypothetically speaking, the worst versions of that. That's what you're leaning into, okay? So stop. I don't want that for you, okay? So I am going to close you out. Move along to pile number 4. All right, pile 4, my gourmet chocolate fall cupcake with a gold candle. We're going to see what you're secretly attracted to and desire and love. So I'm all about exposing your true feelings. I'm excited for this pile. It's a special pile. I don't know that you're different from the others, but we'll see. I'm filming you on a whole nother day, so go back to the intro, that little piece that I cut in. I'll timestamp it so you know, but like especially you go back to that because the energy's different for all of these readings. But what I love about your pile is there's a whole sense of just being really refreshed, really grounded. So maybe you're the one pile that's like really grounded. I don't know, or about to be. And the reason why I say about to be is because I'm grabbing my deck for, the redirections. Not the redirections. For the reset. I was gonna say the reset, okay? So some of you are gonna reset and redirect, or you already have, and I'm confirming that you've broadened your perspective and it's gonna benefit you. Some of you are traveling, some of you are moving. This is your confirmation. You're in your right place, right space. Where you go, where you travel to, it's going to broaden your perspective. It's going to stabilize you. If you don't have a type, hey, I didn't realize those were both 4s. See, that's what I'm saying. You pick pile 4, 4, 4. You're probably seeing repeating 4s and all the things. But the point that I'm making is you're going to ground, you're going to stabilize into a type where you don't have one. Like if you really don't know, maybe this reading will give you clarity, or where you're going, you're going to discover that type, or it might even be a specific person, since this card actually does rule like marriage. So it's like a one person here, and the miser is very stingy with your time and energy. So like one person has your attention, possibly. At a minimum, you'll find your compatible archetype, and that'll be kind of the foundation of how you date going forward, okay? Because it's a self-discovery and wherever you're going. So 4 is a thing. 4 is a number. I'm hearing some of you, it's an address. Okay, look at you. It's an address. You may be in a home. 4 number. I may need to incorporate that in something. What else? Life path, birthday. Just symbolic overall in some way. So let me just get your overview so I can see. Tell me about my pile number 4. Okay. We got take time to breathe out. And a new romantic cycle begins. Ooh. You want something calm and easy going. I'm not saying you're not going to like live your life, travel, do fun things with your type. But like you need a type that's just chill, that's just really easygoing, right? Time to breathe out. And I think I mentioned the era. I don't know why it's more about an era of life for those of you selecting this pile. It does align with the shifts in me, the reader, to make sure I'm in the right energy to do your reading. It aligns with that. But it just feels like you're going to ground, you're going to stabilize, you're going to be more relaxed and chill yourself. And that's actually going to make you more receptive, not only to love, but it's going to make you have the time and the grounded mental space to like really identify what it is you do and don't like, or where you've discovered what you don't like, to go out and find what you do, right? But things are slowing down, things are grounding. And I think it's funny because you're being slowed down to be able to connect with your type, right? Like you're, because of whatever, like I don't know that your type is busy bee, go go go, right? I don't know that your type is hard hustle grind. I don't know that. I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying they know how to take time to breathe out. They know how to balance things with this scales of Libra. So it's almost like not necessarily that you don't have a type, and it's not necessarily that you don't know your type. It's that you move too fast to catch up to your type, or it could be vice versa. They move too fast for you. Like there's something about speed and timing and grounding on the table regarding the alignment of types. Okay, so let me see what's going on. The card that flipped out is the House 8 of transition and transformation. So there's a heavy theme here. I do associate that house with ancestry. I associate it with like death and transition and change. So it could be a complete transition and change in some way. But tell me what's going on here. We've got morality. We've got understanding. Look what's back. It just wants to be on the table, right? That participation card of the Four of Wands. And look, I mentioned ancestry. I don't know why. I feel like I read it. I might have read it in the user book, right? The book that came with this deck. That those are like ancestors, even if it says past lives. I don't know why I'm feeling like that's what that is. So some of you, there is some type of ancestral tie. It could even be like spiritual, if that's your practices and associated with your religion, like ancestral push guidance towards your type and what you're doing next in terms of your overall love life. Okay, because it feels like this is a pile where maybe you're drawn to this cupcake because love is actually at the forefront of your life right now. I love it. Good for you. So because we've got success, so there's some success that is aligning you with the opportunity to further develop your type. Okay, whether we're talking about current, whether we're talking about incoming, because I felt it here. I did, but I didn't want to just make assumptions as the reader. Would never do that intentionally. Your type doesn't really have worries. It's not that they're chill and easygoing. It's that they don't have to stress. They don't have to worry, right? Like they're in a position of stability and success, right? And it's an active state of success, like it's ongoing. It's not like a lot of the people that are your type, they're not really in a position for failure, if that makes sense. Like they're that stable. I'm not saying people have tons and tons of money, super wealthy, maybe for some of you, but I'm saying just in general, like this is a really resourceful personality type, and that they've been so productive historically that they're grounded. They take breaks when they want to. They chill. They're not really worried about anything because their success isn't going anywhere. It's too long standing. I hope that makes sense. And that is your type. Okay. So if that aligns with your character and your personality, then you know you're in the right place, right space. If you feel like that's something you're building your way up to, that's why we had that conversation at the beginning about that journey of, okay, you're headed here, you're moving into this, and then boom, once you reach that state, because we talk about proximity, we talk about access, and you'll learn more about that from me as time goes on based on the things that I'm working on, if you're interested and you opt in. So a lot of times your type is all about like proximity, access, availability, and awareness, right? Like if you never are in a position to be around your type, then how do you discover it, right? So yes. Okay, that card is doing a dive off the table. Give me a second. A lot of you here, your type is very mature. So when I picked up the Fallen card, which was that same one we talked about, I started to reset the deck. We landed on Capricorn, which feels like that morality energy. And it feels like just patience with age, if that makes sense. Like a slower moving, like I'm not saying a lot of you are going to end up with like really older people that are a lot older than you, but some of you are going to end up with someone that is very mature. Especially those of you that are, I'm looking at the cupcake because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. A lot of you here where you're attracted to feminines, you're attracted to more mature feminines. Okay, we got the Queen of Swords here, which is the morality. It's actually a little bit of a dry, more serious, possibly intellectual, more business-minded feminine, right? Because it's actually air sign, like Libra energy, possibly. Capricorn energy, possibly, whether that's placements or just their nature. I see it on the table. And Capricorn does rule paternal energy, so that's also an identifier. So tell me more about my chocolate fall cupcake. Fall is a thing. Look at you. I almost missed it. Fall is a thing. It's a lot of things I almost missed with this pile. Got to pay really close attention. That's why they shut me down yesterday to start you first. You're my first reading, which Libra is a cardinal sign. It's the first sign in the season of fall. So look at you, like your cupcake. So interesting energy. Let me keep seeing what's going on. What's my pile number 4 secretly attracted to? What do they desire and love? Okay, I'll take it. Find what? Okay, Neptune is back because it tried to come out initially and I was not ready. Neptune rules our dreams, our subconscious mind. It rules intuition and wisdom. It actually is very much in alignment with that Hanged Man card, which is the past lives here. Letter P is a thing for sure, because I was going to reference the sign of Pisces that rules that card, which Neptune rules. Okay, so heavy energy on synchronicity and alignment, possibly woo-woo in nature, possibly psychology, right? Things associated with the mind, neuroscience also falls into play with that. So tell me more about pile number 4. What are they compatible with? I always say it I think I've said it in each pile, but it makes sense. Depth, like being on the same page in terms of like the mind and the spirit, right? In terms of your dreams. The person that is most compatible with you will share similar dreams, similar fantasies about who they want to be. Okay, very similar. Not saying it's going to be the same, but it will be in alignment. Like where you two could go together would make sense. So anytime you're dealing with someone where you're going to go together in terms of your future doesn't make sense, right? Like it's not gonna work. It's an incompatibility because it's very much what you're attracted to. Like you're looking for a partner that's gonna align with your dream, your vision, where you're going, who you're evolving into. Saturn is back in its planet form, right? We had Capricorn energy. Some of you, a very specific type of compatible partner is gonna have Neptune conjunct Saturn in some way, or this could be a conjunction in synastry with the outer planets, okay? And we have Chiron here as well, which just talks about healing, especially when we talk about like the psychological thing, or even the body when we talk about Saturn and hard lessons, okay? You want someone whose vision aligns with their work ethic. That's what those two planets talk about, right? The planet of dreams and the planet of lessons and grounding, right? The hard work that it takes to really make this worth anything beyond the fantasy that it is, right? When we talk about illusions, right, the dreams are in alignment with who they actually are. Someone that's self-aware, that sees themselves clearly, that knows their potential and where they're going, and can take actionable steps, even through pain, even through trauma, even through healing. Especially the case, right? Because with lessons come healing, come learning and development. So that's kind of what you need, and that's usually a more mature spirit, or someone that is younger that is an old soul. That's typically where you're going to find that energy, okay? Okay, so got social media at the bottom, got body at the bottom. Tell me more. What's my pile number 4 secretly attracted to? Okay. I saw rags to riches, so you really like someone that's doing well, where success is inevitable, but it's self-made. Like the dream life has to have come from the healing, the lessons, and the work ethic. You're not gonna do well with the silver spoon person, okay? I don't know if you realize that, and I'm not calling anyone specific out, But this is a group where you need someone that has to really grind it out. Like, you're not, like, the silver spoon in the mouth, it's not going to benefit you. I don't know that you have the patience for it. With the energy that instantly came into your pile, it just feels like you need somebody that it does not live in la la land. They understand what it takes to have things, and anyone that just naturally had it given to them is gonna throw you off, because for you, and I can see why you would be confused if you've historically had the silver spoon in the mouth, or people that just have stuff doing well, but they, like, it's because they had good parents and things like that. If you struggle with identifying, okay, I need a partner that's successful, where the success is not leaving, and typically the foundation is like the family, that's not you. Because, like, here's the weird energy, and I don't want any weird scandalous energy slipping in. If you go that route where you end up with, like, the child of, like, the hard grind ethic, your type is more aligned with, like, the parents that made that energy, like, not the actual energy itself. Because the child that came from that upbringing, they never had to do that. The parents did it so that they don't have to. So they don't understand the lessons, the healing, the grind required to live a fantasy, or to not have to worry about success, or to fear failure or anything like that. Like, they don't have that. They won't resonate with that when it comes to you. If you've been grinding, if you're still grinding, like, people with a very comfortable background don't necessarily understand it. So for those of you where that may actually be your type, the comfortable type that, like, don't understand the grinding it out, because I'm not going to say all of you that's not your type, and I don't want to lose those of you that it is. If it is, and you know that, and you know you have trauma from, like, having to grind it out, you don't have to work through that, because you're not compatible with that, because you still in trauma, grind it out. And the people that you may be attracted to, or even possibly are compatible with when you heal, they don't know nothing about all this hardship and struggle that you trying to, like, project onto them. They can't identify it with it. And if you're trying to make them identify with hardship and struggle, that's not their life. A lot of them, their parents did it so that they don't have to. Good for them. There's nothing wrong with them. That's just not, you're not in alignment with that. So it may feel like people like that are in la la land because they don't understand the work, they don't understand the healing required to get there. Because blessed be, they don't have to do that. You know, a lot of people pray for their children to not have to be that way. You have to think about where you want to go as well. Now, those of you where that's just not your type, you're just never going to be compatible with those types, because you wear your trauma like a badge on the shoulder, like a badge of honor. I meant to say honor, that shoulder. Some of y'all have that chip on your shoulder that I get often, where you just like, I worked hard. You take pride in that. You take pride in the fact that you've earned everything you had, and that's not something you really want to change about yourself. That's okay. But you're not going to be compatible. You're not going to be compatible with people that are the opposite of that. So just know that. If that's what you like, you need to start shifting. Like, what's more important, that chip on your shoulder, badge of honor of, like, this is how I work. And some of you need that, because if you lose that, you lose your successes and things like that. You need that grind mentality of constantly improving and getting better. So if that's part of your core of who you are, then guess what? You're not compatible with people that don't have that hustle. They want to chill. Their parents worked hard so they don't have to. It looks like you're a generation ahead. You're too far ahead. Some of you might be. You're chasing people that are going to be more in alignment with the life you're building, that your children will be more in alignment with. I hope that's not weird that I'm wording it that way, right? Like, you're so far ahead in terms of your successes and the things that you want and who you're going to be or are now, that, like, you're not compatible with certain people because the only reason you like them, you're attached to them, is because they are what one day you want your children to be. You don't really like people like that, and you shouldn't, because it's going to slow you down in a way that we don't really need you to slow down. I'm catching on to some things. I got a lot of channeled energy, and I see why that package got delivered earlier today before I filmed this reading, and then I had to stop because I ran out of time yesterday filming before I could film you. You too far ahead, and you need to be real back in just a little bit, because It's affecting your type and what you think you're compatible with, because it's not even your life, it's the life you're building. I hope that makes sense. And the things that I'm working on, it's gonna be very much helpful for a lot of people. Maybe even more so this pile, because I mean, why did I have to stop and go do that, right? I have more of that sharp feminine energy of assertive, composed strength, that ice queen, and the call and communication, just someone that's very sharp with their words, sharp with the way to communicate. I don't mean mean, I mean just honest, and very good at strategy, just very intelligent, very good at getting things going, which leads to success. Some of you, I'm describing your type. Some of you, I'm reminding you of who you are, because like you're really sharp. You're very in that way that you need me to let you know, like, you're not attracted to what I try to, yeah, that's not gonna work for you. And if you're struggling through that, then I'm here to make sure you know not to be doing that. Okay. So who's my pile for secretly attracted to? They desire and love. Unequal give and take. Lazy. Okay, so you worry. Okay, a lot of you in this pile, and this is not gender specific, which is why I distinguished. Y'all overextend with yourself, right? And your own energy and the way you manage it. And you also overextend with people. So where you may mistake that for your type, there's nothing wrong with it. A lot of you are really sharp, really brilliant, and strategic in the way that you maneuver your love life. So you're seeking that out because that's just a strategy. You're thinking, okay, I'm not going to have to worry about anything if I end up with a partner like X, Y, or Z, right? Yeah, but that's not compatible with you. You see what I'm saying? So like you can have that without sacrificing the compatibility that it seems like you may be struggling with a little bit. Or you need to heal so that you can align with what you're compatible with. There is no in between. And I feel like this is a pile that has a lot of trust. Yeah, it must be the truth. I got the wave of good luck coming through. Not a lot of trust. You have a lot of choice. You have a lot of free will. You can heal, shift, and pivot so that maybe the type you're wanting can actually be your type. It's going to require you to sacrifice the version of yourself. We did have the house 8, which rules death and transition. Or you're going to lean fully into who you are currently and just keep evolving and making sure that you align with what aligns with that, right? It's not really a wrong answer to that. The only risk I see with that free will of choice is where you're really, if you don't have that upbringing, you have that ground, that hustle bustle thing, I worry, because this is not a reading that checks for that you sacrifice your long-term potential and grounding in that. Okay, that's my worry as your reader that does readings that are more than just who you're compatible with, right? Because you start taking on people's energy, which is something that I'm gonna be teaching y'all about down the line. And like, I just don't want you to sacrifice your potential and overextend your potential for the sake of comfort. Okay. All right. So yeah, and you know, I did have the Hermit, which is I do everything by myself when you want to take them literal, right? You're again, rags to riches. I do everything by myself. Like that's the type that you're really attracted to, that you're actually compatible with, because it seems like y'all both overextend and you'll balance each other out, because we can't both overextend. At some point, it's not overextending. That's just what it feels like for me, the reader on the table. Very busy, very religious, very consistent, because it seems like the stability you're craving and the people that are really like easygoing to where they don't have to really apply themselves as much, it's because you want the routine, the consistency, the stability. But that also comes from people like you. Like I feel like you're looking for your mirror, but some of you think a little lesser of yourself and people that match your energy. Like if you are a rags to riches, ground up, building yourself person, then what's wrong with another person that's like that as well, right? Like I want you to see yourself in a higher light, because you're compatible with your own self. You're compatible with yourself, right? I like it. I like that I'm telling you that. So It's because, like, yeah, because some of you think, some of you are actually here, a lot of you are attracted to like the youngest in the family sometimes, because I got immaturity and the tradition, which is like the child that is like the baby of the family, even if they're not the young. They spoiled a little bit. I'm not saying their parents have to be like really financially stable. I'm saying the personality type that you've naturally gone for, or that you're just aligned with, because you're gonna father them. You're gonna father them. It's because they're babies, right? Like they're I mean, that's what they are in their family. They're taken care of. Now, the reason why I bring this up is it's not always a bad thing. If you can heal and transmute your trauma, guess what? You're gonna be the baby. You can be end up a spouse of one of these babies, but it's gonna take you to assimilate to that, if that's who you want to be. If that's not who you want to be, then that's not who you want to be with. All right, tell me more about this Gourmet chocolate fall cupcake with the gold candle. Ooh, did y'all see that? Can I flip it? I did. Look at that. Powerful man, powerful woman. Boom. Everybody's on the table, so y'all can't say, how y'all get about the gender. Everybody's on the table, but look at that voodoo, that transmutation of energy. All right. I don't always call y'all out, but shout out to my esoteric vibes here, which some of the things I'm working on might be a little bit in that space as well. But we have a revenge glow up like on the table. So I love it. I love it, love it. Tell me more about what my pile number 4 is secretly attracted to. Expose their feelings, what they desire in love, and how this is going to benefit them. Call is back. Answer the call. So, okay, so I'm there's a lot of other readings on the channel for you, especially if you're new here. Answer the call. I don't have it in. They rushing me if you watch the intro, and I am not ready. So go to the description box, go to the pinned tweet. Ooh, tweet. Somebody's on Twitter. Some of you, your soulmate's actually on Twitter in some way. I don't really know why it's that specific. Somebody you're attracted to, possibly on Twitter. Because what I want to say is pinned post. There's a pinned post on the video. So sign up, or if it's live, go see. Because I'm not ready at this point in time, and I didn't really want to make promises about something I was trying to take my time with. Because I want y'all to have the access to the best things. But, yeah, I mean, you need a partner that you can be proud of. So if you pride yourself in hard work and like earning everything you've got, you're not going to be proud of a partner that doesn't. Yeah, y'all really need a partner that y'all can like brag on, that y'all can like show off, that y'all can constantly talk about, that you can actually learn from, or that is a teacher in some way. Like y'all need like a partner y'all take pride in, like especially if you're the type that like built yourself from the ground up. Like you need a partner that you can brag on their accomplishments, and if you can't do that, then that throws you off, whether you realize it or not. Not to mention the mental stimulation and the compatibility, somebody you need to be excited to talk to, right? So if there's no alignment with topics to talk about, there's no alignment with like, okay, I'm doing this, you're doing that, like something to brag about. Yeah, see, something to brag about. You can't do it. And I'm not saying like bragging is a huge deal, but like people are human and I get it, right? I'm not judging y'all, but you need someone to be impressive. You want to feel impressed by your partner. That's a normal thing, even if everybody doesn't do it, okay? Even if everybody doesn't need that. So let me get the last couple of cards from this deck, and I'll close it up with the loved ones. Need a partner in good health. I don't know why that's a thing, but good health, whether we're talking about just in shape relative to you, whether that's someone that's just generally like in good health, just in general, that cares about their health. Because you just need to be really excited about the way your partner looks. Yeah, it's vain, but that's human nature. Like, I'm not judging y'all for that. You need to be really excited about the way your partner looks. You need to be able to brag on your partner looks. You want people to like tell you like, man, that's crazy that your partner looks so good. Like you need people to be like, oh, you did good with picking a good looking partner. It is what it is, right? A partner that can fit in anywhere with androgynous. Not necessarily anywhere, but anywhere you're trying to be, right? that blends in well. Look at that, with community. Okay. I'm gonna keep this in the order it came, because why is that there? We got rebound. Would you accept? Was there another pile yesterday that was like that? So here's the thing. And I need to tell you this about yourself, and I don't know if you realize that, and I'm not judging you. You absolutely are the type that would leave somebody alone for a partner that's a little more compatible with you. I'm not saying it has to be scandalous in nature. I'm saying you would do that. And that's fine. Because I don't even know why that's right here. Okay. Watch that shadow of your kink of thinking, like, because if you like the chase, if you like the thrill, if you like to build yourself up from scratch, some of you may be like, may have that vibe of like inserting yourself into third party situations. Don't do that. All right. Because inserting yourself into third party situations is unnecessary. If it works out today, it might not work out next year. It might not work out the third time you do. Like, it's going to backfire, just because time is not linear in these piles. So every variation I'm reading is a lesson, is a cyclical lesson, a spiral of a lesson that can circle. That's why I have the Chiron of hurt and healing. That's why I have Saturn of hard lessons. That's why I have Neptune of illusions and past lives. I say that because where we have this cycle of thinking someone looks good or glowing up on someone and then either rebounding with someone else or taking someone's partner being a theme, I don't know where it goes, and I'm not gonna look in deeper. I have 2 decks left. Probably the karmic one is gonna tell it anyway, but like, you're being discouraged from that being a cycle of things that you do. But the side of you where that's not like your kink, that's not a thing you're really getting off on, you're being told you should absolutely. Ooh, that's really specific. I've never read this card like this before. So y'all know I don't have anything against y'all getting cosmetic surgery and things like that. But I'm reading the body card as a lack of authenticity, of not real, right? Because technically it's not. It shows you bought it. I don't judge you. Okay? It shows you bought it. But this is a call. This is a conversation. This is an awareness or a lucky instance of realizing that someone is phony, of not real, whether we're talking internally or just everything about them, and then quickly rebounding with someone that is more in alignment with your family, community, the life you're building. So if this reading is making you realize your type, your true type, and this is something that needs to happen, you're being explicitly told that. And I don't like that that's coming out in this reading, because that's not the topic today. But who am I to tell the table no when we're helping y'all, right? Everything else was super long, like I mentioned in the intro, when I was not supposed to make these long. But since we're also pressuring me to launch something that's not quite ready, then I guess we just doing whatever. We just doing whatever. Tell me more about what my pile number 4 is secretly attracted to. Love language is a deal breaker for you. Communication, love language is a deal breaker for you. You're not going to get around it if you pretend for the sake of appearances, whatever it is. Love language is not, you can't. Like, it's not going to benefit you. You're very mentally stimulated by your actual type. It's going to put you probably in a third party situation if you try to sell on love, because you're going to be so mentally stimulated by your actual type that it might bring out your shadow if you have a natural, I don't want to say natural, if you're put in a position where you could cheat. Okay, so I'm just making you aware. Don't put yourself in a position. You're human, right? You're very human. Okay. And don't get so wrapped up in whatever you think your type is that you avoid red flags, because some of y'all do that too. Stop that. All right, so my last two decks. Let me get out of here. I got stuff to do, even more stuff to do. Mental stimulation. That's what you're attracted to. I'm not pulling anymore. Watch out for the gossip. Watch out for the conversations dealing with people. If you got somebody that you're dealing with, if you're used to dealing with people where people are constantly gossiping about them, it's always rumors, it's always something, it's always talking about third-party situations, then you already know to get up out of there. Very loud on the table with your spirit guides and things like that. Like, there's people, there's community, there's at least one community that like has really bad gossip about your perceived type, a person at least, or multiple people you've dealt with historically that maybe you've ignored the red flags of the gossip dealing with people. Why are you doing that? Onyx doesn't want you doing that. Onyx is not judging you, but stop. Okay, so mental stimulation is a deal breaker. Gossip is a deal breaker. You do not want a partner that people gossip about. You know this. I know this. I can tell by your table. Listen and don't put yourself in positions where that's a thing, because that's what makes these readings long when y'all are doing that. Okay? And I don't mind, but I got stuff to do today. I am working. Don't do too much when it comes to your job, especially places you work. Don't have too much fun in an office situation. Please don't be messing with people at y'all's job. I mean, I'm not gonna judge you if that's what you've already done. If it worked out for you, fine, that's cool. But like, please don't get in the habit of messing with people at y'all's job. That's not gonna benefit you, because you definitely don't want the reputation of that. And definitely leave people alone that have a reputation of messing with people at their job. You're not special. I said it in another pile. I think I remember doing that. You got to be careful with who you're dealing with and how they interact with other people, because yeah, you're special. I think y'all are all great and we're all going to be special and do great things. But when it comes to how people treat people consistently in a patterned way, you're not special, okay? So last deck, and we're getting out of here. You're not going to, long distance is not going to work for you. I think I had another pile like that. Long distance is not going to work for you. If you're married, you're doing long distance, that's probably going to end up in a divorce. So you might want to get close to your partner. I mentioned a move and stuff like that, okay? Settling in love. Long distance is not going to benefit you. Stop settling for all the other things that we talked about, okay? Don't be so infatuated with the surface level that you just kind of lose sight of what you actually like, what you're actually compatible with. So let me get this advice, because we don't want any more. It's repeating at this point, which is good, because it means we're done. All right, what advice for my pile number 4? That's all of this. If you're on the fence about the freedom and the free will I talked about, and the choice of should you slow down for the partner that you think you want versus finding a partner that can keep up with you, the opposite, like the answer is here. If it's a question, you need to lean into your success with the growth of energy, right? That's going to be the healthiest union for you. One where you have free creative expression, one where, you know, your partner's really wise and you're able to evolve in wisdom. It's going to be financially stable, but you just need to make sure that you have a boundary where anything compromises a healthy union. Wisdom, your creativity, your financial security, where you overextend, your energy levels, boundaries, all right? And check that post that I referenced. And if something crazy happens and I just don't make it, like my spirit team is pushing me to do it, stay tuned. I'm gonna like link some stuff. I'm gonna announce some stuff. Okay, so I appreciate y'all for supporting the channel, and thank you for watching.